The end is near. We only got 3 episodes of this left. That's crazy, huh? This has been a fun one. Luckily, there's a lot more Charlie Brooker related content, so we can just switch to one of those. Like I said, I can go back to Scream Wipe. There's a whole bunch of different wipes and stuff. So there's a lot more stuff. But for today, Series 3, Episode 4. The lyrics of the song really speak to me.
Hello, I'm Charlie Brooker, and you're watching Weekly Wipe, a programme all about things that are happening. Things like this. Greece looks more likely than ever to withdraw from the Eurozone. It's weird, really. Normally you grease things before putting them in, not pulling them out. The words Greek and exit have been combined to make the new word Grexit. And apparently, if that happens, we're foomed. It's the 30th anniversary of EastEnders, the gripping drama celebrated by going live, just like TV wasn't 30 years ago.
I couldn't miss your big day, could I? Even if it does mean bumping into the bold ginger one. How's Adam?
Didn't I watch this one?
Adam Woodyat, a.k.a. Ian Beale, has been in Albert Square since the very beginning. Nothing survives that long on a soap, except maybe a pube. Bad news for drugs fans as scientists uncover a link between powerful grass and mental health problems.
Oh,
Research indicates smoking skunk may triple the risk of psychosis. Psychosis? Bad, it's probably nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Former This Morning weatherman Fred Talbot was found guilty of child sex offences. He was immediately remanded in custody after the judge studied illuminating footage which suggested he might try and skip the country. More of that sort of thing coming up. But let's start here. As the election inches nearer and the leaders continue to spar, vinyl tyrant David Cameron has thus far been winning the battle of personalities, despite...
It's crazy watching this show like this year, too. This year and last year, because so much of what's happening here, like in this show when it was out, is... This is like, what, 2013, 14? All of this is lined up so well, what's going on right now. So many different things.
Not having one, as ITV News clearly explained. And the leaders continue to spar, vinyl tyrant David Cameron has thus far been winning the battle of personalities, despite not having one, as ITV News clearly explained.
Got him.
Voters are more likely to describe him as statesman-like, competent and intelligent.
Me.
Whereas Ed Miliband is more likely to be seen as coming across as someone like me, or just plain weird.
What the fuck?
Aren't those the same thing? The Conservatives have also been buoyed by economic news of late, with polls indicating they're more trusted with the national wallet than Labour. But a recent big money story spelled big trouble for the Tories.
The BBC identifies senior political figures and donors who were among those known to have held Swiss bank accounts with HSBC.
Yes, the news temporarily contained more H than steps as the HMRC came under fire for not investigating HSBC, who stood accused of hiding huge amounts of assets in a handy hole, a Swiss hole. The news that Tory donors might have been on HSBC's mucky books invigorated Miliband, as the BBC made clear.
The current Conservative leadership have become the political wing of the offshore hedge funds.
Not sure saying warranted that kind of applause.
I don't know, it's pretty good,
is the most inspiring speech he's ever given. Maybe it could be his campaign slogan.
There you go.
Egged on by the applause, Miliband went even further in a particularly testy PMQs, calling Cameron dodgy.
He's a dodgy Prime Minister surrounded by dodgy donors.
It caused such a ruckus, Speaker John Bercow almost burst into song.
He didn't...
This guy.
It has always to be said, the questions will be heard and the answers will be heard.
Yes, those answers will be heard. Miliband had singled out Tory donor Lord Fink, played here by Terry Scott, as a tax avoider in the Commons, and Lord Fink was not amused.
I challenge Ed Miliband to either repeat his allegations outside the House of Commons or perhaps to withdraw them publicly.
Yeah, that's right, Miliband. Say it to his face. Dare ya? Fight! Brilliantly, the next day Ed was visiting the comprehensive school I didn't realise he'd gone to, and which Wikipedia says is the same comprehensive all 3 members of N-Dubs and Steve McFadden went to. And he went on stage in front of the whole school, and he stood his bloody ground.
Now, yesterday, a Conservative donor, Lord Fink, challenged me to stand by what I said in the House of Commons.
that he was engaging in tax avoidance activities?
Yeah?
I do.
Ooh, he's hard. Wow, they're clapping, and he didn't even say, oh. Anyway, Miliband's gambit worked, and Fink folded, much to the delight of Channel 4 News.
Oh, nice.
So, Lord Fink doesn't want to sue Ed Miliband after all. Instead, he's admitted he did avoid tax, but only he claims at the vanilla, bland end of the scale.
Ultimately, Red Ed's tit-for-tat tax tactics left him in the pink, having a drink when Fink blinked, I think. Meanwhile, Big Chief Hamhead David Cameron, so furious at being labelled dodgy by Miliband, was busy dodging reporters' questions.
Is tax avoidance normal, Mr. Cameron? Mr. Fink said
Just like he dodged Brexit.
Come back. Oh, look, he's up to his old trick of abruptly stomping off when he's said his bit so the press can't keep asking him any more questions. Questions which might be hostile. Basically, he's avoiding a tax.
We raise money from people previously evading and avoiding taxes, and we'll go on doing that as a government.
Actually, that's not avoidance, that's evasion.
Denmark is on high alert tonight after a gunman fired into a cafe in Copenhagen.
Oh, no.
The body collectors of Freetown getting ready for another harrowing day at work.
I think I remember this.
Powerful skunk-like cannabis is associated with 1 in 4 new cases of psychosis.
Don't know if you've noticed, but the news has been kind of dispiriting recently. It's a bit like a sort of top 40 countdown of things to be worried about. Which might look something like this.
Oh, no.
At 40, unpredictable and armed to the teeth, it's North Korea featuring Kim Jong-un. At
Yep.
39, far out and far right, getting Nazi in Greece, it's Golden Dawn. A new entry at 38, it's those apparently endless A&E waiting times. At 37, absolutely everybody from the 1970s. And hot on their heels at 36, people of colour beware, it's the US cops.
Yeah.
At 35, still moving up the charts, whatever's killing the bees just won't buzz off. A surprisingly rough new entry at 34, sex symbol heartthrob Christian Grey. Dropping several places to 33, ask your parents, it's nuclear war. Leaping 76 places to 32, white, deadly and delicious, it's sugar. And at 31, Control-Alt-Kill, it's artificial intelligence.
That aged well.
Yes, no less an authority than Stephen Hawking recently suggested artificial intelligence might one day do us all in.
I think the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
I don't know about that.
What's most worrying of all, the machines are already rising up. Everything's being replaced by robots, isn't it? We've already got robot workers,
robot aeroplanes, robot despots, and soon we'll have robot cars. Although at least, as this promo explicitly indicates, driverless cars look sleek and amazing. The Mercedes Xbox, or whatever that thing's called, is ironically the opposite of a hard drive.
I don't
With
think
no
it ended up
steering
looking
wheel
like
to
that.
worry about. It's the ultimate hands-free mobile. Freed from the tyranny of doing this, you could drive to work while knitting or eating lasagna. You only have to worry about it crashing, which might make it crash. But wait! This vision of the future is actually a vision of now, because driverless cars are here. They are, albeit a little bit less glam. Yes, this brand new driverless vehicle on trial at the O2 is less total recall and more total bumhole. In fact, it resembles what the offspring might look like if BrianTheConfused.com robot f***ed a milk float. Sky's Eamon Holmes seemed woefully underwhelmed.
They're golf buggies, really, at the end of the day, aren't they?
Shh, don't let it hear you, Eamon. That's your future master.
Yeah.
Although he mainly seemed annoyed it wasn't sexy enough.
Until they get a lot of chrome on them and big wheels and, you know, some sexy colours.
Some of them look quite sexy. I don't think he had the sexiest one there.
And what do you want, Eamon? A car you want to sleep with? A kilf?
Well, would you? I agree.
Sure.
As well as the quasi-intelligent cattle truck down the dome, there's also this spectacular podmobile that will mosey along pavements in Milton Keynes, where the biggest problem it will face is locals deliberately lying down in front of it, begging for death.
All right, more countdown.
At 30, they're online and out of order. They're the Twitter trolls.
Yep.
Looming ominously at 29, it could body slam the planet an extinction-level asteroid. At 28, making no attempt to fit in with the rest of the chart, it's those
Oh my
bloody
God.
immigrants. At 27, someone murdered Lucy Beale. You could be next. And a new entry at 26,
Oh, wow.
narcissistic. It's a selfie stick.
Selfie sticks are all the rage, by which I mean they're generating all the rage. You know who's got one now? Barack Obama. Yeah.
Yes, super cool Obama
I remember
recently
this
appeared
video.
in a zany online video in which he pulled off the most depressing presidential headshot since Lee Harvey Oswald.
He's not the first president to manipulate a selfie stick in the White House. Nixon got terribly lonely during his final days in office.
Critics said it was a tad demeaning for a pres
So
to
did
mess
Clinton.
around like this.
You wouldn't see Abraham Lincoln taking a selfie. He'd never be able to fit that tall hat in.
The clip quickly racked up more views than your mum's Instagram feed, and irritating people in the street found it awesome and really cute.
That is really cute.
Now show them one where he drone bombs a village in Pakistan. But wait, according to an unamused Fox News, Obama's bonkers antics had been filmed just hours after he'd learned of the death of a US hostage at the hands of ISIS, making this goofing possibly a tad insensitive.
YOLO, man.
The president says, YOLO, man. And for people at home who may not know what that stands for, YOLO stands for You Only Live Once. Well, you know who's not alive? Juan, now, Kayla Mueller. And this was shot on the same day that information was released regarding her death.
Yeah, that does sound pretty bad, but I'm not sure it's worse than reading a book about a goat during 9/11.
Yeah.
We're not living in silly times, but we have a silly
Yes, we are.
All those antics certainly
Yes,
are
we are living in
attention-grabbing,
silly
aren't they?
times.
Just like the world of showbiz. People love
We're living in the
showbiz.
silliest
That's why
of
they like
times.
talent contests like The Voice, which is brilliant. Look at it, isn't it great? Ooh, but could it be even more brilliant, maybe, if it was compacted into an easy digestible form and presented by Mr. Jake Yap? I reckon it could be. Let's have a look.
Now on BBC One, time for a fresh new TV format, a singing competition. Not the
great.
Face, the socially responsible karaoke contest. 4 judges: Tom Jones, I'm just a humble valley boy, you know. I knew Frank Sinatra, you know. Rita Ora, don't get too used to me. The sexy young female spot's only a temp job. Ricky Wilson, this is just so wildly exciting. And Will Self-I-Am, broccoli is not a meaningless metaphor.
Why is
Eat
Will I Am on
broccoli,
this?
dog. Broccoli that's getting out of the fridge. Hello and welcome to The Voice. I'm Emma Willis, and with me is some bloke off of JLS who looks like he's here because he won a competition. Here comes the first of an endless parade of Susan off the boils, but first let's cut to an interview with them from before they sang, and then a soundbite from the judges from after they sang, so that the whole show loses any anchor in time and place and feels like Lost the Musical. At least the band's live. Somewhere, bang! Rita has turned round, bang, bang! There go Tom and Will, and bang! Not to look out of place, so is little Ricky, even though he knows he stands piss all chance of being picked over the big boys.
At least Simon isn't on
I'm
this.
gonna have to go with Rita, or Will, or Ricky, or Tom, because me sister, or me mum, or me auntie, or me probation officer will kill me if I don't. Hugs! Next warbler, please. Oh no, no one's turned round. Oh no, I think I should have hit my button. If anything, you were too good. Never mind, more hugs. It's a middle-class kid's birthday party where everyone wins past the parcel, taking the brutal Darwinism of the X Factor and making it into a toothless loving. You're all winners, yay! Auditions are starting soon for the next series, but I wouldn't bother choosing us over the X Factor, since your prize is literally nothing except a line to put on your poster when you start singing on the pub circuit. See you next year! Not you, Rita.
Did they actually get nothing?
At number 25, just what the fuck is wrong with them? It's men. Down several places to 24, not quite as popular as they used to be, Al-Qaeda. At 23, you won't see them on the news, but there's just no escaping your own personal demons.
Facts.
Radicalising people left and right, click to log on to the internet.
That should be higher.
And at 21, it's Harriet Harman's female-friendly, awareness-raising pink bus. Pink bus sounds like a euphemism, but it's actually a debacle. The pink bus was supposed to drive around Britain's market towns, desperately attempting to engage with disenfranchised women in supermarket car parks, like your dad did in the 80s. But the choice of pink caused immediate controversy across the news, with many claiming it was patronising.
Interesting colour or patronising?
Surely if they'd wanted it to be inexplicably popular with women, they'd have avoided pink altogether and painted it 50 shades of grey.
Yeah.
Anyway, as Sky News brightly indicated, many pundits seem to think the pink bus was a bit of a brown idea.
You don't convince people who aren't voting for you to do so by telling them that you think they're stupid. And that's what this bus is doing. It's telling all those women voters who didn't vote in 2010 that they can be easily distracted by bright colours.
But not as easily distracted by bright colours as the news, which immediately bombarded Harriet Harman with questions. Not about women's issues, but about pink.
Why does it have to be pink if it's appealing to women voters?
Pink, magenta, cerise, which is it?
You signed the colour off, did you? You take responsibility for the pink.
I do. Now, you've said today that pink was signed off by you. Why?
This bus is not just a colour, it's about something. It's about our democracy. It's quite a small bus, but it's a very big issue.
Lots of important issues you mentioned there. Unfortunately, they are all getting lost today in the noise of the pink bus issue.
Yeah, and whose fault's that? Maybe the same media that decided to wang on about pink all day.
This seems very
likened
dumb.
The bus to other pink buses.
For some, the campaign is more Barbie van than battle bus.
They
Barbie's
walked around
awesome.
showing members of the public pink bits on their mobiles to gauge reaction.
Did you vote last time?
No.
Could this make you vote this time?
Probably not, no.
It was also notable that a lot of the people talking about pink on the news were wearing it.
Yeah.
I've got a great deal of room to talk. As you can see, I'm wearing a bright pink jacket today.
And there were ladies, because only ladies wear
Alex
pink.
sick.
Kathy's playing safe in fuchsia.
Still a feminist, though.
Get out of my mosque! Soon Labour were engaging in pink avoidance, dodging questions about the colour.
And just so we've got it on the record, what colour is this?
Hot. I'll tell you where we got the. I mean, it's like pink cerise, but I mean, I don't know.
Eventually, Harman claimed it wasn't even pink at all.
Harriet Harman's response to this is it's not pink,
What?
it's magenta.
Ah!
That's right, it's magenta, like Magenta Divine, or the 3 key on a ZX Spectrum, or that pink bus. To be fair, there weren't many other colours they could have used. Red van is post office, blue, yellow, purple and green are Bagsied by the other parties, and they couldn't drive a white van because Labour hate those. Besides, Labour's actually been using magenta as an official colour for a while now. Look, here's Ed Miliband delivering an inspiring speech in front of a huge wall of it. Anyway, ultimately, normal people either didn't seem to care much or quite liked the pink bus.
What about pink? Do you think it's patronising?
No, it's nice. I like the colour pink.
Yeah, thank you.
Should have done it a long time ago. They might have won the last general election if they had.
She's got pink gloves.
Mind you, some men were unimpressed. I think they felt a bit left out. After all, poor old men are only catered for by 98% of everything.
Yeah.
What I mean?
They would say that there are lots of MPs in Parliament who are men, so we know what men's views are. So they're going out to try and listen to women's views.
Still, men were provided with their own political mode of transport, as harrowing adult baby David Cameron did his bit to patronise male voters, appealing to their inner schoolboy by...
I'm sorry, can I just... Wow, that whole thing was maybe the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Y'all had a controversy over a pink bus? Lord, they gotta bring pink bus back this time around. Yeah, no, maybe they shouldn't. That might be, judging by how things are going, it might be the Tories' only chance. Yeah, they gotta convince Labour to bring back the pink bus, and maybe they won't lose after all. The pink bus will drive voters to the Tories. God, that was... Wow, that was 50 Shades of dumb right there. Holy shit.
Still, men were provided with their own political mode of transport, as harrowing adult baby David Cameron did his bit to patronise male voters, appealing to their inner schoolboy by hogging the controls of his own private train.
Trains are cool.
A train Wickle Prince George Osborne clearly wanted to go on. Poor George, staring at those endless lines stretched out in front of him, he just had to lean in for a cheeky toot.
I'm at full compression. There we are, very good, thank you. And the quiet one. There we are.
At number 20, we've all seen your pink bus, thanks to revenge porn.
Yikes.
At 19, if Greece pulls out, looks like we got ourselves a Eurozone crisis. Dropping down to 18, inexplicably enough, it's Telly Savalas. And at 17, CC everyone, CC, a huge cache of your hacked emails. And at 16, earth-shatteringly nerve-wracking, it's fracking.
Quite a few people are very concerned about fracking, none more so than former Happy Mondays mascot Bez, who as part of his ongoing We Are the Reality Party campaign recently staged a genuinely charming week-long awareness-raising bed-in with his girlfriend Firuza.
And we're hoping to raise awareness about the fracking. I'm here with my girlfriend Firuza for a week-long protest!
As well as many public displays of affection between the most in-love couple in Britain, the nightly 60-minute webcasts contained a wealth of highlights, including sing-alongs, polite questioning.
So you've been doing a study into the possible health impacts of fracking. Could you let us know what you found out, please?
Bits where no one seemed sure what was happening.
I believe we're on. Right, yeah, we're on, but we're back on air.
And intense political discussion punctuated by baffling interruptions.
Yeah, I've been saying that all week. It's profit, corporation profit before the welfare of the people.
Yeah, it's not right.
Well, you know what I think? Oh, no, it's supposed to be again.
Perusa's got the answers.
Say what you like, but this shit's all over question time. At 15, it's creeping up on you, ready or not, old age. Dropping 6 places to 14, looks like we've lost the war on drugs.
Damn it.
At 13, it's Stool Pigeon from Kid Creole and the Coconuts.
Okay.
And number 12, contrived format points on television shows.
Well.
And at number 11, the world has its eye on Vladimir Putin and the Ukraine rebels.
They sure do.
The grim situation in Ukraine's been rumbling away in the background like a stomach ulcer.
What was I saying about the show aging
well?
well?
Ukraine's worth fighting for. Look, it's got some lovely architecture, acres of rolling mud, all the smashed up rubble you can eat, and that cat.
Another
Meow.
quickly puts down a stray cat when he sees he's being filmed.
There's no need to put it down. Well, you know what they say. The first casualty of war is truth. The second is cats. Many suspect Russia of backing the pro-Russian rebels, none more so than Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko, who showed off some of the passports of what he claimed were Russian soldiers fighting in Ukraine in scenes closely resembling bid-up TV.
This is the best evidence for the aggression and for the presence of Russian troops.
The key to a peace deal seemed to rest on negotiations with this man, Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
Must be hard negotiating with Putin, because his expression never gives anything away. You can't accuse him of being two-faced. He's only got one face, that one. And he wears it no matter what he's doing. I mean, check out this startling footage of his recent trip to Egypt, where they mangled the Russian national anthem. Putin's face never wavers, even when the music does.
No, his face wavered a little bit. Oh. That's the worst goddamn rendition of national anthem I've ever heard. What's wrong with y'all? You're lucky he did this in Egypt and not in Russia, or he would have executed all of you.
Turns out the Pentagon might have a theory for Putin's apparent passiveness, as gleefully detailed on Fox News.
A newly released Pentagon study claims the Russian President Vladimir Putin may suffer from a mild form of autism that affects all of his decisions.
Researchers say if you look at President Putin during a judo match or similar activities, you can tell the right side of his body is slow to react. In other words, it takes a while for his body to sync up with his brain.
Yes, news channels thoughtfully claimed Pentagon experts had analysed video of Putin and diagnosed him as suffering from Asperger's, or as the Americans call it, Asperger's.
The Russian president carries a neurological abnormality, Asperger's syndrome.
And that's what led to the Asperger's or autism-like symptoms.
Asperger's.
I suppose if Putin does have autism, he's Ukraine man. Speaking of which, as Channel 4 News expertly detailed, Europe's François Hollande and Angela Merkel managed to get both sides round the negotiating table in Minsk. First Petro Poroshenko arrived, then Putin popped by, swaggering like a guy checking his trousers after a triumphant outdoor piss. Not very Asperger's.
The handshake was perfunctory, to say the least.
I wouldn't shake it, he's got piss on that hand.
Yeah.
And then it was down to who blinks first.
Who blinks first? That's going to take ages. It's a still photograph.
That's
Finally,
true.
a ceasefire deal was reached after through-the-night talks. The whole thing had taken 17 hours of negotiation, breaking Putin's previous record by 17 hours. Hanging suspiciously round number 10, just what went on there? Dolphin Square.
I don't know.
What's she said now? Goading the Twitterati at 9, it's Katie Hopkins. Slipping down at 8, let's hope the worst is over, from Ebola. And at 7, probably doesn't belong here to be honest.
Oh, not
it's
again.
Greg Wallace. At number 6, it's President Bashar Assad of Syria. The thing about Syria's President Assad is he's a sort of accidental despot. He was training to be an ophthalmologist at the Western Eye Hospital in London when his brother was killed in a car crash, meaning he had to go home and inherit the family business of iron-fisted bastarding. It's basically a rags-to-wanker story. But despite being roundly condemned as horrible and ruthless, he's sort of awkward and gawky looking, the least physically terrifying villain since Count Duckula.
Yeah, he's very
I
lanky.
can't quite work out which non-threatening thing he most looks like. He's a bit like Lord Percy from Blackadder, or Nicholas Lyndhurst playing the French postman. Sometimes he looks like he's played by Odo off the entertaining Deep Space Nine. Until recently, we were told Assad was the most evil thing in existence, but he's been usurped of late by ISIS. The whole thing is just like the marvellous 80s parable Superman 2. Lex Luthor, that's Assad, he was the main bad guy until General Zod and co show up, being even more evil than him.
That movie rules.
And they wear black, just like ISIS. It's the same. Recently, the BBC's Jeremy Bowen, very much the Terry Wogan of the apocalypse, caught up with President Assad, meeting him in a plush palace for a chat so he could get to know the real monster.
Jeremy, you have tried for a very long time to get this interview. Why has he agreed to give it to you now?
Maybe he's got a new album out. During the interview itself, it was immediately apparent Assad doesn't just look non-threatening, he sounds non-threatening too.
What about barrel bombs? You don't deny that your forces use them?
I know about the army. They use bullets, missiles, and bombs. I haven't heard of army using barrels or maybe cooking pot.
You know, hearing and seeing him, he's a bit like Andy Kaufman's Latka character from the feel-good sitcom Taxi.
Hi, Latka. What'd you do today?
Oh, meet girl, marry her, she leave me. It was fun.
Andy Kaufman, that's
Although
crazy.
that's where the similarities end, because Latka, to my knowledge, was never accused of being a genocidal tyrant who killed and starved his own civilians.
And that, again, is against the laws of war, starving civilians.
That's not correct for one reason, because in most of the areas where the rebels take over, the civilians fled and come to our areas. Very simple.
Wait a minute, no, he's that bloody meerkat from that irritating advert, isn't he?
Simple. Simple.
Simple. Those are still going, ain't they?
At number 5, overtaking Assad, it's ISIS. At number 4, a bit of Dettol will sort it out. Antibiotic-resistant bacteria.
Oh.
At number 3, oh no, why do that? It's acts of God. And at number 2, more dangerous still, our own worst enemy, human stupidity. But at number 1, it's not going anywhere, it's climate change.
Accurate.
Yes, so, climate change. What is it, anyway? Here to find out is Philomena
Oh, no.
Cohen with one of her moments of wonder.
There we go. We didn't have this last time.
Our planet is changing, and not in a good way,
Nope.
like into a butterfly or a giant magic shoe. And we're all to blame. I'm talking about climate change. 19
That's my favorite Sum
centuries
41
ago,
song.
there was an industrial revolution which used coals. Coals is a fossil fuel, which means setting fire to dinosaurs. It's this
What?
dirty dinosaur gas which has been blamed for climate change.
Yes.
What's more, so many dinosaurs were burned for steam trains, but nowadays there's almost no dinosaurs left.
Correct.
Rising temperatures are a worldwide problem. Experts say they're responsible for making the North Poles melt, meaning too much sea. Not everyone wants to live in the sea. You don't have to be a scientist to know that. You just have to have seen The Little Mermaid. She hated it.
True.
The government says we need to cut our greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. But if, like me, you don't have a greenhouse, they say you can reduce your carbon footprint by not flying and walking more. But my feet swell up when I walk, which is why I came here in a car. Storms battering the coast, tornadoes, blizzards, rain, women in bikinis, floods. If we keep discussing climate change at such an alarming rate, scientists predict the world's stock of weather footage will be exhausted by 2050.
Shit.
But not everyone thinks climate change is real. This hot topic has split the science community straight down the middle, 90-10.
Yeah.
To hear both sides of this debate once and for all, I found one climate expert. Good afternoon. What are you?
My name's Andy Watson. I'm a marine, atmospheric and climate
It's usually split between scientists
How
and then
does
stupid
weather
people.
actually work?
That's
and if you
split.
could make it snappy, because it's going to be on iPlayer.
Well, the atmosphere is constantly in motion. This motion means that you get winds. If the air is rising, it
Yeah, I'm
cools.
going to need you to be a bit more snappy.
You get rain, you get snow.
Snappy. In one word.
Energy.
Energy, yeah. The world's getting hotter, isn't it? But how can we stop ourselves from turning into steam? What do we do? Should we just start eating more salad and stuff like that?
Certainly true. We will have to adapt to a warmer climate. And we will probably have to eat different things because
Ice cream and stuff.
well, certainly as the world gets warmer, you know.
Probably going to be an ice ban, though, isn't it? So we can't have ice lollies.
I don't think so. It's not that bad.
How hot is too hot? You know, I mean, will we be like going, ow, all the time?
If global warming happens really slowly, then the world could probably adapt to being quite a lot warmer than it is.
And we'll be long gone by then, so...
Well, that's true, but you've got to think about, you know, our children and our children's children.
I'm not going to have kids, I don't think.
Me neither.
Well, some people
Yes,
do
some
want to
people
have
will.
children.
Yeah, but not until, like, their children's children, so... We don't so care, do we, about them?
Well...
There's a difference between thinking climate change is man-made and thinking climate change is made up. But I can't remember it because I'm too hot. And that might be a warning to us all.
Yeah.
A global warning.
Bars.
Next time on Moments of Wonder, I'll be finding out, where do fists come from?
I can't wait for that one.
Well, that's about all we've got time for this week. Till next time, go away.
That suit's fire. I like it. I'm sorry, who was that in the credits? Maybe I was misseeing. No, I just saw it. Who the fuck was that? Hold on a minute, brothers. Waiting for it. Tasman Trump. Son of a bitch. For the record, Tasman Trump has no relation to the Trump family, just has a very unfortunate last name. And according to their The Talent Manager page, seemingly out of embarrassment, they have changed their last name to Peacock, which is wicked. So, again, it really does amaze me. Just how well this show has aged. Like, so much stuff, the election, Ukraine, Russia, climate change, so much stuff is just lined up perfectly. Like, man, you talk about the world coming full circle. It went full circle in like 15 years. 10 years even, Jesus. Man, alright, well, 2 episodes of this left. We'll conquer series 3, episode 5 next time, but that's it for me today. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like. If you didn't like it, don't. If you want to follow any of my social media links, they're all in the video description down below, as well as the names of all my Patrons. If you didn't know, you can be a Patreon me for as little as $1, £1. And you get access to direction videos, as well as reading comments up to date, early, sometimes more. With all that being said, though, my name is Taffy. It's been my reaction to Never Reaction, Charlie Brooker's Weekly Wipe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.